Hello, you're watching our Arts and Culture Roundup here on Encore. Coming up. Lost 9,000 kilometres from home, new film Lion is the true story of one man's search to find his family against all odds. We catch up with its stars, Nicole Kidman and Patel, on the red carpet here in Paris. Art imitates life here in France as new film This Is Our Land tackles the rise of the far right in national politics. And we check out an installation here in Paris that's not for the claustrophobic. Performance artist Abraham Poincheval is spending a week inside a rock. We've all felt that panic before when you lose sight of a parent for a split second and you think your family's lost forever. But for one little boy in India, that nightmare became a reality, and Saru Brierley saw his life change dramatically. The film Lion tells that incredible story of one man's quest to find his way home. Nicole Kidman and Patel have been nominated for an Oscar for their performances in the film. I went to meet them at its French premiere here in Paris.
Let's start with where you're from.
Calcutta.
Which part?
I'm adopted, I'm not really Indian. I'm starting to remember.
Saru, our beautiful boy.
We're very proud of yourself.
A life I'd forgotten.
You okay?
I had another family. A mother. A brother. I can still see their faces. I have to find my way back home.
Lion is cinematic proof that real life often provides the best movie scripts. It's the astonishing story of one man's search for his family lost somewhere in India. Nicole Kidman and Patel star as the mother-son duo brought together by an improbable twist of fate. The film's topped the box office in Australia and the UK. We're at its French premiere here in Paris.
Yes, I'm a big fan, especially of Nicole Kidman.
Why?
Because she's an amazing actress. And she's in my favourite film, Moulin Rouge.
Even if Nicole Kidman is a really great actress, I'm more into Patel. I actually discovered him in a series that I really like called Skins. And then I saw him in Slumdog Millionaire, and he made me want to find out more about India.
What's good is that he's playing quite a complicated role, and that makes a change from the roles they normally give Indian actors, so it's cool.
Lions earned Nicole Kidman her 4th Oscar nomination, here for Best Supporting Actress. But she didn't realise it was a true story when she first picked up the script.
It's just a very touching, beautiful story, and to have it now reaching people like this, that's why we're here in France, because we so believe in it and we want people to go see it.
Her co-star is the young British actor whose career exploded after the success of Slumdog Millionaire in 2008. Since then, Patel has racked up some celebrated performances in both television and film. He says Lion provided a unique challenge, portraying a real-life character, Saru Brierley. And Patel, your character Saru, his life changes dramatically when he loses his brother. Have you ever felt that utter fear of being separated from your family?
Not to the extent that Saru has, no. I mean, on a microscopic scale, I've been separated from my mum at a supermarket, and that felt like an eternity, even though it was like 3 minutes long. But you can imagine a child having to fend for himself on the streets of India, you know, dodging these predators and adults that kind of want him for all sorts of horrible things. It kind of shows you what an adaptive, clever young man Saru really was.
I woke up absolutely frightened. There was no one on the train. I'm not too sure whether I was on there for a day or 2 days before I ended up at Calcutta station. There was just a river of people. It wasn't long before the Indian government declared me a lost child of India, and they couldn't find my family. And I was there for a couple of months before being adopted out to Australia, more specifically Hobart, Tasmania.
The story just gives you hope, makes you believe in the power of it takes a village. People, you know, where you find love and how powerful, healing, good love is. I think that emphasizes it. Obviously, this film is about finding home as well, you know, so that plays deeply into a lot of people's consciousness. I think that's what it hits in a very primal way.
You learned an Aussie accent for this role to play Saru Briley. How did you do that? Was it difficult? And Nicole, how did you judge it?
It was lots of repetition. She's very generous with her compliments, Nicole. But it's had some wobbly moments, but I had an amazing dialect coach. Her name's Jenny Kent, and we spent 8 months together trying to figure it out.
And it's such a hard accent to do, and he did it impeccably, which is why he got nominated.
Lion's been tipped for multiple awards at this year's Oscars. Not bad for a first feature from director Garth Davis. The mix of an extraordinary journey and the very ordinary story of family ties that span thousands of miles is definitely a winning formula. And it's the sort of film that could see you shed a little tear in the theatre, so I'm very well prepared.
Sister, bro. Not the same. You get to carry each other.
Every night I imagine that I'm walking those streets home, and I whisper in her ear, I'm here.
Now to a film made here in France that's tapping into major social and political issues 2 months before the first round presidential vote. This Is Our Land follows a young nurse who starts off apolitical but slowly feels drawn to a far-right group and their policies. In the film, the party is the fictional Bloc Patriotique, but it's been seen as a thinly veiled critique of Marine Le Pen's National Front Party. Alexander Orcott has more.
On m'a chargé de trouver un candidat pour les municipales et j'ai pensé à toi.
Et ça serait sur une liste du Bloc Patriotique?
C'est quelqu'un comme toi que les gens attendent, proche d'eux. Tu trouves que c'est une
With the story of a young nurse who goes from apolitical to a far-right candidate, director Luca Bevo shines a light on the rise of populism in his new film, This Is Our Land, known in France as Chez Nous.
Le titre Chez Nous, il vient du fait que c'est
The film's title comes from the fact that it's a slogan at rallies and meetings of the French National Front.
C'est aussi l'idée que
But it's also the idea that somehow their presence, their rise, is our failure as well.
puissance, c'est aussi notre échec.
Je veux changer les choses, c'est pas pareil.
Tu veux changer quoi avec ces gens-là?
Lucas, à aucun moment.
At no time does he condemn the electorate. On the contrary, he's with them and trying to understand. He denounces the tactics and techniques of a populist party, but he's made this film for the voters.
Qui fait ce film aussi. Tu pratiques? Pardon? Non, rien, oublie. Enfin, je me demandais si t'étais pratiquante. Catholique.
Ah, non, mon père est communiste.
Ah, oh, bah, personne n'est parfait.
The film takes us within the inner workings of the campaign, with a young, inexperienced candidate being used as a tool by the party. Even before the film was released, it received the scorn of the National Front. Young activists from the party even demonstrated outside a pre-screening, complaining of what they said was leftist propaganda paid for by the state. But that didn't prevent a large audience from turning up to watch it and giving their opinions afterwards.
There's a line in the film that I really liked, and that's, "We don't change our objective, we change the strategy."
It's a bit of a caricature in many ways.
Is it really going to reach these people? It's got to reach this social class, those we refer to as working class, because a lot of them vote National Front.
Political films are rare recently in French cinema, and if this one sparks a debate leading up to April's first-round election, then it's achieved its goal.
Limiting your access to food, oxygen and even a toilet may sound like some sort of punishment, but for one man it's simply another sacrifice to be endured in the name of performance art. Abraham Poincheval is spending a week enclosed in a rock at the Palais de Tokyo gallery in Paris, where he'll be breathing through an air vent and surviving on small amounts of pureed fruit and vegetables. The artist has had some experience of contained spaces, having spent 2 weeks in one of his own sculptures in 2014. Living inside the hollowed-out form of a bear, Poincheval ate worms and beetles to replicate a real bear's diet. The artist says his work is part of an exploration of the notion of time and how humans experience that. Let's hear from him.
As human beings, we have our own sense of time. I think it's a beautiful idea to imagine life in a time that's more geological, in a material we live with on a daily basis. I see it as a journey. We don't know where we're going, but we'll try to stay on track.
Not one for the claustrophobic there. Well, we're finishing with more contemporary art, a little bit more tangible this time. Yayoi Kusama's showing the largest collection of her work to date in Tokyo. The 87-year-old Japanese artist is known for her polka dots, bright colours, and her penchant for pumpkins and toadstools. It's a look back at a 60-year career. Kusama says her passion for art keeps her alive, so she's not looking at retirement yet then. Remember to check out our website. You can also keep up with Encore on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
Reporters, presented by Mark Owen.
In the northeast of India, a small ethnic group claims to be descended from one of the lost tribes of Israel. The fervour of the cookies has persuaded Israel's chief rabbi to approve their immigration to the Promised Land. Cookie men are traditionally fighters, so in Israel, most become soldiers, but their wives are finding life more difficult.
Reporters on France 24 and France24.com.